instead of trying to win over people who are already somewhat socialistic or think that they are socialists, instead of trying to be king of the protest cage, instead of trying to satisfy the woke crowd on social media, our focus should be winning average people to revolutionary anti-imperialist ideas. And that the more we try to please the disconnected, out of touch, socialist current in U.S. society, the crazy woke people on the internet, the less likely we are to win over the masses. And that has been what I've been trying to communicate. But I'm almost at the point where I almost wonder if that phrase, out of the movement to the masses, it's not exactly right. And the reason that it's not exactly right is I don't think we can really even call what exists today and calls itself left a movement. And I also don't think movement is necessarily the right word. And so I'm going to articulate that in a few ways. Nowadays, the overwhelming majority of people who consider themselves to be socialists and leftists, what they do is they are on social media. They are on Facebook, they are on Twitter, and they're not a member of any organization. Or if they are, it's a paper membership, right? They signed up and joined the DXA on the website. They signed up and joined the Communist Party on the website. It'll be 3 years before anyone calls them.Maybe once a year, DSA calls them up and asks them to maybe go petition or knock on doors for some Democrats. But for the most part, they're not doing they're not part of anything. But they get on social media, and they see people who disagree with them about some nuance of socialist theory, or people that have right-wing views, and they tear them down on social media. They tear them down on social media, and they argue with people on social media, and they read socialist books, and they consume socialist web channels, and they get to take selfies of themselves in their latest socialist clothes. They buy some socialist shoes. It's like a commodified identity. It's consumerism. They consume socialist social media. They get to try on this identity. They get to shout at people on social media about socialism. And then, every so often, mainstream media starts promoting some kind of protest, right? Mainstream media will advertise that Black Lives Matter is big. It'll start trending on Twitter. And so all these people will get the memo, and a number of them will assemble in one place, and they'll talk about being really, really mad about Black lives and racism. They'll talk about being really, really, really mad about Donald Trump. And they'll be in the streets yelling, and they'll break some things, and then they'll all go home, and they'll get back on Twitter, and they'll get back on social media, and they'll take a selfie of themselves at the rally to prove what good people they are. And this isn't a movement, right? I mean, that's not, when people in the 1960s talked about the movement, brother, what's the movement doing, brother? They weren't talking about that. That is not what they were talking about. They were not talking about a bunch of people who just live in isolation from each other. They show the world how good they are. They consume a certain type of social media content, YouTube videos, books, etc. They advertise, their image on social media of what they feel like they are. And then every so often, they assemble with people, when the social media algorithms tell them to, they assemble with some people and yell and scream and break some shit and take some pictures of themselves, and then they go home. That is not what, 1960s activists thought a movement is. As critical as I am of the New Left, that is not what the New Left was. It's not what the New Left was. That's not what any movement has been historically. Movements, when they talk about movements, I'm forced to remember something that was shared with me, right? It's so weird. I never met Sam Marcy, the founder of the Workers' World Party. I never met him. He died in 1998 when I was 11 years old. I never met him, but because I was in the Workers' World Party for 8 years, the time I was 19, the time I was about about 27. Because of that, I feel like I absorbed, maybe secondhand or thirdhand, a lot of Sam Marcy's teachings. And one story, and thank you, Jane, one story, or not even really story, but quotation or anecdote that Sam Marcy, the founder of the Workers' World Party, would tell his followers about, used in many, many different speeches and lectures, was repeated to me on many, many occasions. But I think it bears some relevance in this conversation. So Sam Marcy would talk about at the big anti-war protests. Back in the 1960s, there would be these big protests against the Vietnam War. Hundreds of thousands of people would march against the Vietnam War. All the communist groups would bring out their people. There would be, marching bands and all kinds of things. There was one group of people that were at every big anti-war protest. Every big anti-war protest, you would see these puppets. These big puppets that people would make. And they were very big and elaborate. And they'd be puppets of Richard Nixon, the greedy capitalists sent the war. They'd be puppets of Lyndon Johnson. They'd be, puppets of the heroic Vietnamese people fighting for their liberation from imperialism. They did these kind of well-made, giant art projects, I guess you could call it. And it would take a lot of people to operate these puppets. These puppets were not small endeavors. But these people that were against the Vietnam War, for whatever reason, thank you very much, were against the Vietnam War for whatever reason, they would get together and they would decide what puppets they were going to make. And they would, as a group, make these puppets, as a group, come to the anti-war protest with these very elaborate puppets that they made and march through the streets with their puppets. That's what they did. And these people, again, they were not in any communist organization. They were not putting out a specific interpretation of leftist ideology. They were against the Vietnam War for whatever reason. They were particularly artistic, creative people. They wanted to make a contribution. Thank you. They wanted to make a contribution of some kind. And because they wanted to make a contribution, because of the fact that they were artistically inclined, they would make these puppets. And it was like a little community that existed. There were different puppets. There were different communities of people that would do this. And there were people that, they fell in love and got married to people who they made puppets with. There were people that they were single at the time that they started making puppets. 3 or 4 years later, they were making puppets with their little infant baby that they had just had. And it was just this whole subculture of people that had made it their commitment, in opposition to the Vietnam War, they were going to make these puppets that would be displayed at anti-war protests. That was it. And from what I heard, again, the way this story was told back to me, Sam Marcy, the founder of the Workers' World Party, would always talk about these puppet-making people. And he would talk about how valuable that was. That these people, who were not communists, they were movement people, right? They were part of the movement. And they built a community, and they had found a task that they could take on to advance the struggle for justice, to make the puppets for the anti-war protests. It was a form of artistic expression. It was a form of community. And they came together, and they made these puppets, and they were friends with each other, and they had relationships. And I'm sure there were arguments about these puppets. There were rivalries, where one puppet group was against another puppet group. These things happened. But they found a task, they took on a task, they made a community around it, and that was valuable. And in a way, every one of these puppet-making people is 1,000 times more valuable than some teenage kid who thinks he's Lenin, than some, know-it-all, Marxist guy who thinks he's the next Lenin, who thinks he's the great leader. He knows and he understands all the Marxism and he can out debate you and all of that. Because those guys who think they understand Marxism and no one can teach them anything, they know it all and all of that, they're gone after a year or two. After a year or two, they get bored. They find a new hobby. They realize they're not going to, fulfill their dictator fantasy and become the next great leader of the revolution. And they move on. However, those puppet people, they're still there. They're still there. Built real relationships and friendships around making that contribution. They have people that they can rely on, that they can trust, that they like to work with. And because of that, they continue to make the puppets. And that is very, very valuable. And so when people talk about a movement, that's a movement. That's a movement. A movement is a group of people working together to achieve something because they believe in something. That is a movement. That is a movement. Now, I don't particularly, I mean, if you look at what people do now, this, this commodified identity where you're really by yourself. You're showing off on social media that you went to the protest. You're consuming, basically, you're consuming certain social media content, you're consuming certain books, you're making statuses, but you're not really connecting with anybody. You're not really building something. You might go to the protest and break shit every so often, but you're not really building anything. That's not a movement. The building blocks of what they called the movement was communities. And the communist groups were a big part of that, no doubt. I mean, the Workers' World Party, the Communist Party, the Socialist Workers' Party, the Revolutionary Union, the October League, these groups were a big part of it. Yes, they were a big part of it, but it was the communities and the networks of people who trusted each other, who knew each other, who relied on each other. That was what made the movement. The movement was not about destruction, though it may have a destructive aspect. It was at odds with the existing society. However, it was about the construction of something else, something in opposition to it. I don't like the term movement because what is movement? Right? You can move backwards, you can move forwards, you can move to the left, you can move to the right, you can move up, you can move down. Movement, everything is in motion, right? Dialectics teaches us that A does not equal A, and you never step into the same river twice. And so there's always movement going on. If something stops moving, if there is not movement going on, that's called absolute zero, and it is the lowest possible temperature. So, there you go. I don't particularly like the term movement because movement just means moving, right? If you're building a movement can be anything, right? There's fascist movements, there's racist movements, there's communist and socialist movements, there's religious mass movements, there's a movement, I guess in this sense of the word, a movement can be any time you have a group of people who advocate anything. And every time you have a group of people who en masse advocate something, that's a movement. So I don't like the term movement because movement can be anything. Can be anything. And there's always movement going on. You can move in the wrong direction. You can move in the right direction. You can move in the wrong direction. You can move fast. You can move slow. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. So I put forward that while out of the movement to the masses, it kind of communicates what we want, but it's not exactly right because this problem that exists that calls itself leftism is not a movement even really. It's kind of an insult to the movement that once existed, right? As much as we're critical of the new left, even the new left was actually a movement, right? And what exists now, this is manufactured social media brainwashing and virtue signaling, individualism gone mad. It's not a movement. But out of the movement to the masses, we can still use it, okay? I'm not saying we can't use it, but it's not exactly correct. But I would argue that, and then people have said, well, Caleb, you say out of the movement to the masses. Aren't you trying to build a movement? Of course. I'm trying to get people to go in a certain direction. I have certain ideas I'm trying to promote. Wasn't that hypocritical, Caleb? You're saying out of the movement. Aren't you just saying you want your movement and not their movement? Exactly. So it's not the ideal phrase. It's not the ideal phrase. But rather than trying to build a movement, I would say I'm trying to build a construction. How's that? We're the city building tendency, and what we are trying to build is the construction, not the movement. We're not trying to build the movement. We're trying to build the construction. And what we're building, the construction, is in opposition to what's all around us, which is the destruction. If we look at the society all around us, what we're seeing is the destruction. That's what we're seeing, right? The wars, they're all destruction, degrowth operations. Libya once had the highest life expectancy on the African continent. Iraq used to be a strong, independent country exporting oil on the international markets. You look at country after country after country. These wars are degrowth operations. They destroy prosperous countries and drive them into chaos and grind them into poverty. So these wars that we're against, they're part of the destruction. And you look at what communities are facing. The capitalist system, it's throwing people out of jobs and driving people into poverty. That's part of the destruction. You look at the opioid epidemic. Look at the suicide epidemic. That's part of the destruction. You look at the prison industrial complex, breaking people's spirit, destroying their lives for the profits of corporations. That's part of the destruction. So there is a manifestation of evil in this world that is driven by capitalism and capitalism in its period of decay. But that entity that we're against is called the destruction. And then there are all kinds of different forces in this world that are in opposition to it for whatever reason, for a wide variety of reasons. And the forces that are against it, for a wide variety of different reasons, maybe they don't all agree with us about why, but for whatever reason, the forces that are moving against the destruction, they're part of the construction. They're not part of the movement, because if they were part of the destruction, that's a movement also. They're part of the construction. I think about these libertarians that are marching with Nick Brana, opposing the wars. They're part of the construction. Maybe for different reasons. Maybe they're confused on a lot of points, but they are against the destruction. They're part of the construction. They're part of the construction. I think about Russia and China and Venezuela and Iran. They're part of the construction. Think about the gray zone, the folks at the gray zone that are doing great work exposing the lies of imperialist media with their amazing, groundbreaking journalism. They're part of the construction. Think about Jimmy Dore and his great broadcasts and his calling out of the rich and powerful, force the vote. He's part of the construction. He's not part of the movement. People can move in all different directions. He's part of the construction. He's part of the construction. He's building. However, there's a lot of confusion. People don't know why they're building. We, the city building tendency, we know why they're building. We are here to provide ideology. We are here to provide a narrative of the big picture so that people that are from various wings of the construction can know why they're constructing, why they're building. We are here to provide the ideological guidance, the education with our
All right, I think I'm done listening to Caleb. I'll start listening to the rest of it later. Let's see. So I kind of just want to keep going down the degrowth rabbit hole. But if anything else comes up, we can definitely discuss other things. So let's see. I also turned off Caleb's stream because my computer's like getting really toasty. So I don't know. I might have to like restart stream and start a new one. But before I do that, Abu Tas, what was by the way, about degrowth is real. Yeah, so send me shit on DM. My DMs are open on InfraWiki. Send me everything. I think the criticism of degrowth, by the way, I'm replying to this guy down here in the corner. It's not that it's not real, it's that it's being used by the elites to try to promote war and austerity. Not necessarily promoting war, but definitely promoting austerity, trying to get people to consume less and stuff. Whereas the Dengist conception of the productive forces is, let's increase production and stuff. And for some reason, the wiki is kind of acting really slow right now. But hold on, productive forces. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. Maybe if I try a different skin. Hold on. Because maybe we'll try writing about the productive forces right now. So let's turn my dark mode back on. Productive forces. Yeah, for some reason that worked. Yeah, the Malthusians. Yeah, like the British types. I think I might actually start a new stream so that I can change the title, but I would like to try to import all of the Deng Xiaoping works that are in ProleWiki. Consume less of the things you actually need. Yep, that's right. Let's see. Do we have a Deng page? A lot of this could be stolen too, because I feel like I did quite a bit of this work. No, they actually kept developing it. So let's go to edit. And let's just steal some shit from ProleWiki. Let's go. I love how we're still watching Caleb's chat. All right. I love how it's warning that I've been banned, of course. All right, so Ding Xiaoping. Even ours doesn't mention productive forces. So let's see. A new level of prosperity based on post-scarcity can be built. This conception. Anti-woke communist, please write pages. We don't have TOS on we don't have TOS on InfraWiki. So if you know more about it, please write about it. Yeah, too soft on the urbanites. I totally agree. To bring China into a new level of prosperity upon which the material basis of post-scarcity communism can be built. This understanding emphasizes the growth of the productive forces in society. Productive forces. Bro, did we not have that? Or did I misspelt it? Okay. There we go. So we don't have a post-scarcity page. We could definitely go ahead and do that. Also, how's my audio? Like, what's going on? Is everything chill? We got mic audio. Hopefully it sounds better than last time. I'm gonna steal my post-scarcity page over here after dang. You should write about this. I don't know much about him, honestly. You know, that one, like his little manifesto thing, is I mean, I know who he is, but yeah, like his manifesto, I guess, had like that one interesting bit about like industrial society. But I mean, every modern philosophical thinker talks about like, oh, modernity, and you know, you got like Nick Land and all them. Everybody thinks modernity is cringe, which, you know, there's probably some truth. There is some truth to it. People are too stressed. Cool. So that was theft. We just straight up stole that from ProleWiki. It doesn't have any references, so except for this Marx quote. So I'm just going to add a references section. Added, stole from ProleWiki. Watch them like freak out. They're going to be so pissed. And actually, I'm curious what edits they made, because they might have made it cringe compared to... Oh, no, I was the only one who edited this. Cool. So I'm stealing my work back. We do not have this file, so I'm going to... I guess I can just go ahead and steal that file, too. Man, MediaWiki is ghetto as hell. You need to go back to the source. I know. I need the meme of like sources. All right, let's try to steal this image real quick. MediaWiki is terrible. It is the shittiest software ever. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna upload this. Choose file. Recents. There we go. And it's a fucking web, whatever that WebP thing is. I hate that. Use JPEG. Alright, so I'm gonna pick it again. Recents. Ay. What a fucking nightmare. Alright. Upload file. Bro. Okay, I don't want to deal with this right now. We're gonna get back to writing. So where were we? We were stealing some dang shit. Tell everybody to like this stream. I don't know how many people we got in here. I feel like everybody has liked the stream. There's like 2 people, but it's all good. I don't even know. I don't even know where my link went. I got OBS on my other monitor, so like I just do this kind of shit like right in front of you guys, and it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. Go like that banger video that I made though. All right, so now that I got that, I'll hit it in self promo Discord. Editing the wiki right now. What actually, so today there was an interesting thread by some kind of like schizo poster, and I think his thread is worth looking into more. So I'm gonna scroll through my likes. It was about, yeah, it's this guy, Cyclops. So this thread about Jordan Peterson, really interesting stuff. So let's make a Jordan Peterson page. He claims that like he's got ties to MK Ultra, so that's kind of interesting. So Jordan Peterson is a Canadian. What is he? Like psychologist? Is he actually a psychologist? Jordan Peterson. Can I get TOS for that in on YouTube, or am I fine? Yeah, so Jordan Peterson, he's a Canadian media personality and retired clinical psychologist. Abu, I'm begging you, please write a page about it, or just send me tons of shit, because like I haven't gone down the rabbit hole yet. Let's see. And author. He's a conservative, classic British liberal. Yikes, I fucking hate the British. Okie dokie. So let's see. We'll just go back to the thread. Okay. So let's find like the first substantive claim. People have been tracking this for a while. He says he's been being forced to re-educate for criticizing Justin Trudeau. So let's say Jordan Peterson re-education. Let's see what this is. Yeah, Abu, I'm pretty sure you should be able to make a page. If you don't already know how, I can show you real quick. But everything's going to be sent to moderation, which is just me. And I'll approve it, just to prevent like vandalism. But if you do this, you should be able to do this. So if you just search it, then you click the red link and you can start creating it. So let me know in the chat if you are unable to do so. Yo, why did my dark mode turn off? Okay. So Jordan Peterson is a Canadian media personality and retired clinical psychologist and author. Re-education camp, what is this? It sounds like you, blah, blah, blah. And the re-education of Canada. He claims he's been undergoing re-education at the behest of the Canadian government. I don't really know if that's how I want to open this up. And I'm gonna be kind of sloppy with my my references right now because I just want to get the meat and potatoes out. So maybe we should just skim this to try to find like some heftier facts. Okay, so he studied under Maurice Don. Began at the being interviewed about. Honestly, I might just kind of copy their shit in. So now we can start a page on Maurice, and then we can like kind of change it up and editorialize it after we copy things in. So studied. He describes using techniques, blah blah blah, to conduct brainwashing. So he studied under this guy. In 1950. Okay, so we're gonna clarify this. Around the same time that MK Ultra experiments reportedly began under Ewan Cameron. And we can link that guy. I'm curious if Wikispooks has anything about this too. They're usually good on like spooky kind of shit. Jordan Peterson. I want to see a Peterson Dugan debate. Yeah, that would be cool. Like, what do you think they like have a main disagreement over? Basically, I know that like Peterson just seems like a fucking idiot when it comes to Marxism. He just doesn't know what he's criticizing. He's just kind of the most boring anti-communist you could ever meet. And Dugan, he's kind of come around. We need to get Space LaRouche and Pestamime. Yeah, no, I talked to Space LaRouche. He has lots of interesting. He's really brilliant. I hope he starts editing the page or the wiki. And actually, he commented on my previous stream, so you know he's got this on his radar. Let's see. Okay, so back to the thread. Let's not get distracted here. Dongier eventually held blah blah blah. About how this. Yeah, and like so the wiki has written about this shit. What's this guy's name? Pasternak. So yeah, kind of similar. Whatever we categorize Pasternak as, we should probably categorize this guy at, or some of these guys as. Peterson vanished a couple of years ago. This is interesting. Kind of. Yeah, so let's see. Where is this article from? It's the National Post. Woke from a coma. National Post. Peterson coma. Recalls waking from coma, confused, tethered. What the fuck, bro? That's evil shit. Let's just go ahead and like create this reference. By Adrian Humphreys. Did I spell that right? Humphreys. What a terrible last name, bro. That's so hard to spell. Adrian Humphreys. Maybe he's worth writing more about on the National Post. I don't know anything about the National Post, so they might be cringe. Oops. National Post. I'm just kind of curious. Canadian English language. So it seems like a pretty normal whatever. They're owned by Owned by Post Media. Yeah, so whatever. They seem normy. But so that reference doesn't really get to that sentence. So we're going to say, what year was this? In, wow, this was recent. Like last year. So in 2021, Peterson recalled, waking from coma, confused and surrounded by strangers. I assume that these are strangers. Let's see. Strangers. Like foreign language. Where do they mention the foreign language part? I was confused and frustrated, surrounded by people. It sounds like strangers, yeah. Okay, so let's create a section called like, what is the thesis of this thread? It's like Peterson has ties to MK Ultra, so we're going to call this potential ties to MK Ultra. And then in that first sentence, we're going to mention like what MK Ultra is. And I think, yeah, it's actually, I was right about how to capitalize it. But TBH, I would Dugan. Yeah, Dugan and Peterson debating economics. I haven't really heard Dugan's thoughts much on economics, just because he's mostly like geopolitical. But I'm sure he's got some stuff to say about it. Should we just come out of the gate like crediting this one guy, this thread? We can say there have been questions surrounding Peterson's relationship with MK Ultra, and I believe we'll verify this further down in the thread, but I think it's also referring to Canadian, what's it called when it's like a similar thing, like Canadian, we can just say similar Canadian psychological, similar Canadian projects similar, and yeah, I don't know. And we can just we'll credit this top thread, but we're gonna pull out all of the sources that they reference. Copy link to tweet. Can I change the description of my live stream now that I'm talking about not like we're no longer listening to Caleb? Let's see, your channel live. Hold on, sorry, this is kind of housekeeping stuff. Okay, it just says contributing to InfraWiki, so that's fine. I wonder if this wiki page has anything to do with, here, let's see about his coma. So on Wikipedia, when they mention the coma, doctors in Russia diagnosed him with pneumonia. Intensive care units several months after treatment. He back to his regular self. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'd have to look more into this. Like, his connections are weird, but I really don't know if we need this information right here about his little pneumonia thing. Okay, head of psychiatry at McGill, running the Allen Memorial Institute. Yeah, so McGill is the important thing, head of psychology. Okay, so let's just start connecting these dots. So let's create a page for Ewan Cameron. And we're just going to say Ewan Cameron. Let's see if he's got a Wikipedia page first. Yep. Oh, shit. Role in unethical medical experiments. So even they hate him. So was a Scottish-born psychiatrist whose career was plagued with psychiatrist who is known largely for his central role unethical medical. Let's just jump to psychological experiments and torture techniques for the CIA. Damn, I cannot spell at all. What the fuck? Tech. Literally, I gotta find it to read it. Medical techniques. That's gotta be so boring watching somebody try to figure out how to spell. Are we gonna just go ahead and call this guy a CIA asset? Let's see what should I just classify him as such? Let's just say Central Intelligence Agency. They do mention that. Damn, he's mad sus. Let's just create some important sections too. So mental illness as a social contagion. That's interesting. So we're gonna call this. We're gonna make a page for MK Ultra. Subproject 2068. Let's find like an easy reference to create. Does this one mention Subproject 68? Subproject. Let's just call this MK Ultra because I haven't found the Subproject 68 section. So let's create a reference. Doctor looked after the sick. Honestly, I don't want to go through the effort of creating sections just yet. It's a stub. So references. Okay, cool. And then let's go back. He studied under Marin at the Allen Memorial Institute at McGill around the same time. Okay. So let's go back to this thread. What is mega? Peterson eventually, he vanished a couple of years ago. The story is that he was suffering from withdrawal. He would put his patients into comas. Peterson explained. Damn, yeah. On the Joe Rogan show, Peterson admitted to having been subjected to sleep deprivation. Which was, oh damn it, come on. Alright, yeah, I'll fix the stream, sorry. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I wish somebody had commented that sooner. I don't know how long y'all have been frozen. All right, we're back. So on the Joe Rogan show, Peterson admitted to having been subjected to sleep deprivation. Let's turn on the audio. Let's listen to this real quick.
Okay, one of the things that both Michaela and I noticed was that when we restricted our diet and then ate something we weren't supposed to, the reaction to eating what we weren't supposed to was absolutely catastrophic.
What did you do? What did you switch to? Or what did you eat, rather?
Well, the worst response, I think we're allergic to, or allergic, whatever the hell this is, having an inflammatory response to something called sulfites. And we had some apple cider that had sulfites in it, and that was really not good. Like, I was done for a month. That was the first time I talked to Sam Harris.
You were done for a month?
Oh, yeah, it took me out for a month. It was awful.
Really?
Yeah. So I would say,
so this is right before this whole truth conversation with Sam Harris that got stuck in the mud. During.
So
I
think the day I talked to Sam was like the worst day of my life. Not because of talking to Sam, but it was
just physical.
Oh, Jesus, I was so dead. But I didn't want to not do it. Because
apple cider, like, what was it doing?
Sulfites in it.
What was it doing to you?
Oh, it produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom. And I seriously mean overwhelming. Like, there's no way I could live like that.
Your cider was poisoned.
So Michaela knew by that point that it would probably only last a month, and I was like...
A month?
Yeah,
from
a month.
Fucking cider?
Oh, I didn't sleep that month. I didn't sleep for 25 days. I didn't sleep at all.
Dude is all over the place. Like, that's the headline.
I didn't sleep
that
at all
I didn't
for 25
sleep.
days.
How is that possible?
I'll tell you how it's possible. You lay in bed, frozen in something approximating terror for 8 hours, and then you get up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Not
and
good.
this is from cider. From cider.
That's what we thought, yeah.
That's what we thought. That's wild. Whatever. Hopefully this clip stays up. I admitted to... Okay, so he wasn't subjected to sleep deprivation, but... Here, hold on. We're just kind of going down a crazy rabbit hole. Took Timothy Leary's former position. I found this on Reddit. Essentially, yeah, he is obsessed with like order and chaos. That's a pretty big little thing. Fascinating, yeah. So he tweeted about Marvel recently based on. Yeah, what was the Nazi influence on MK Ultra? I don't really know that connection. Were the Nazis involved in MK Ultra? Many people... Fuck off, Reddit. Oh my god. Many people have suggested it's absolutely true. Yeah, like... Because I've never heard that. This is not true. MK was the designation, yeah, for all TSS projects. Yep, like MK and Naomi. His skull is being used. What? Yeah, I mean, I believe that it could have happened, but I just haven't seen any evidence. I don't know. I'm kind of burning out on trying to find good bits. I mean, this is kind of what you can expect from a chaotic schizo poster, anonymous. But, you know, they've got interesting shit. Yeah, okay. When you know it's Bro, this thread is going all over the place. I don't know. Am I missing it? Did I miss the, like, how this thread got kind of crazy? I do kind of agree with Olivia Wilde on this. Like, he's cringe, but I mean, the reason he's a phenomenon, I mean, you gotta be wondering, like, well, okay, why is he a phenomenon? That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I mean, celebrities all have handlers, so I just wonder who his handlers are.
Common in the 1980s. So horribly common, actually. This infested many towns. And usually what would happen is somebody who is a little on the paranoid side, or maybe a lot on the paranoid side, would send their children.
Yo, he's basically just saying that, like, Epstein doesn't exist. Yikes.
Off to daycare. And that was a whole new thing in the 80s, right? Because women were, moving into the workforce like mad, and so they were handing over often their infants, kids of 3, say, to total strangers. And, for some of them, that set up a fair bit of worry, like it still does, and sometimes that worry got out of hand. Among the people who are a little predisposed to paranoid schizophrenia, and maybe even had some previous episodes. And so, the kid would come home and the mother would observe, or not, something kind of peculiar about their behavior, and then she'd fantasize about maybe what.
Is the stream still frozen? Did I fix it? I'm pretty sure I fixed it, but y'all haven't said, "Oh, the stream is back." I'm gonna look myself. Diogenes. Let's see if stream is still frozen. God damn it, I keep clicking that. Yep, alright, it's back.
What that was, and then, she'd start asking the child if the child had been touched in any particular way, and, and she'd keep this up for a good length of time, and then the child would start to have nightmares, and then
ReZero, what is that? Like, is it you? Because you can write your own user page, but if it's something else, then yeah, feel free to write it.
I would tell the mother about what the nightmares were, and then that would freak her out, and so she'd ask even deeper questions, and soon, her children were telling her that horrible things were happening to them. The first is that
Yeah, like, he's gone out of his way to debunk, like, come on, guys. These people are creeps. Doesn't matter if you think that there's any power behind it. It's like, they literally just kind of socialize and do creepy shit. Alright, what other news is going on? Let's see what we can write. I kind of... We got some interesting shit in here. I don't really know how to, like, summarize this up in a bow, because I don't want to end it on, like, the coma episode. I guess that one thing about him kind of running cover for the elites, that's kind of creepy.
scandals that.
That's so weird. I wonder what year this was. Peterson has denounced like accusations. I don't know, that sounds like they're against him. Peterson has spoken out in the past against those who promote the idea that the elites engage in like satanic rituals, that the elites in pedophilic satanic rituals. Claiming that it's the product of schizophrenic mothers and confused children. And then I kind of want to clarify that, like, there is plenty of evidence of pedophilia. I don't know how much evidence we can dig up on, like, the, I mean, I guess, like, the symbolism and shit is there. Like, you can find, like, the creepy symbolism and stuff, but I mean, even on the page, even on the wiki, we have, like, a page for, like, the pedocracy about, like, yeah, these guys are pervs, right? Like, where is it? The pedophilic swamp, yeah. So this guy, David McGowan, coined the idea of a pedocracy. And it's like, I mean, these people are they're fucking cringe. So, yeah, I'd be curious to see Peterson be directly asked about this specific. Maybe he's changed his tune after, like, Epstein and shit, but, wild shit. All right, so let's create this. What kind of categories do we want to give him? Like, Canadians. He's a Canadian. I don't know. I mean, this page isn't going anywhere. We can add more categories later. Canadians, and then we will categorize Canadians as people by nationality. And let's make sure that the rest of those in the category. Yeah, Americans, Canadians, people. Okay, cool. Re-zero. What is that? It's a novel series. I don't really know much about anime at all. But yeah, do a Hegelian. I mean, media analysis is totally like within the purview of our project. So, like, media analysis. I want to get some of Caleb's and Haz's media analysis, like the Avatar 2. Avatar. I know I haven't written pages about this, but I'm just curious if it's come up yet. I mean, we could go ahead and create a category page for media analysis. And we could just kind of, we're going to add a to-do. Add Haz's analysis of Avatar 2, Caleb's various analyses. I think Caleb has like a whole playlist of media analysis, and I might go ahead and start, like, connecting the dots so that people can easily start doing this. So I'm gonna find his specific playlist of media analysis, media art analysis. That's what he calls it. So, holy close up, Caleb. Boy's getting comfortable with the camera. Bro, how do I send a playlist? What the hell? YouTube, why are you cringe? This is, oh my god. Bro, who designed this cringe software? Okay, so if I click on the text, now I can finally, jeez, what a terrible. Okay. Of art, movies, literature. I guess literature isn't considered media analysis. That's why he called it art. And then let's see, Haas, Avatar 2, The Disturbing Ideology. I feel like we wrote a page for this. I don't remember. But we're just gonna link to this. This is like super ghetto. I don't usually do this with category pages, but and I guess we can say Zero cult leader is going to write a Hegelian and Marxist analysis of Zero cult of Zero based. All right, chat, do we have any other pages we'd like to create? Is there any news going on? I know there's the Brazil stuff, but I am not up to date on it. We can go to Feedly and see what's going on Feedly. Alliance for Global Justice. Black Agenda Report. What do they got? So I got some finance feeds that I follow too. Like a lot of these like Austrian guys are pretty interesting in terms of like the collapse of, Western economic base. Oh, interesting. Where do they live? New York, baby. Let's fucking go. Tokyo, that's a surprising number too. Let's see, declassified. Ooh. Wonder what this is all about. So it was about... Oh shit, I did not mean to click that. Where the hell did it go? Declassified. Was it? Dude, I don't know where that one went. Sorry for having a low energy stream tonight. Kind of just jumping all over the place. A lot of these guys are cringe. Like there's PSL Liberation News. Thankfully we've got Press TV to make it less cringe. Mossad. Wow, Mossad operating in the United States. Mossad. So according to an academic, he says pro-Palestine David Miller in Bristol. That's like the UK, right? Bristol. He's a sociologist. Oh my god. Oh, I thought they were calling him an Islamophobe. Never mind. Yep, they're gonna call him a conspiracy theorist, of course. Interesting. Okay, so David Miller, we're gonna create a page for Mossad. We're gonna say Mossad is Israel's, I think it's a foreign intelligence, Mossad. Or maybe it does both. National intelligence. Yeah, I guess they do both. It's like MI5 and MI6, but combined. It's like the CIA and the FBI combined, I think. Okay, so is Israel's Mossad is the National Intelligence Agency of Israel. Military intel. Oh, okay. So Shin Bet is their internal security, so that's their FBI. So Mossad is like their CIA. But I don't know if it says it's like specifically foreign. So maybe, yeah, maybe not. Maybe they do both. Okay, but so we're gonna say this guy seems cool. I mean, they call him like a conspiracy theorist, so like, hell yeah. David Miller. So we're gonna say sociologist. David Miller has claimed that Mossad, I misspelled it, Mossad operates within the United States in order to sway, what was it, like public opinion? To shift the balance of power in order to, is that a quote? To shift the balance of power in Tel Aviv's direction. And it probably is to fight against the Palestinian support, right? So, pro-Palestine, Press TV's Palestine Declassified aired. Yeah. So this is partly about shifting the power in favor of Israeli. Is that the only mention of Palestine in the body text? Yep. So it doesn't really talk about like Palestinian activists or anything. But cool. Cool reporting by Press TV. Dope. So let's create this reference. Who wrote this? Or is it just by Press TV? Yeah, looks like it. By Press TV. Do we have a Press TV page? Ayo, we do. Hell yeah. Let's create references. Let's dig up some other Mossad, like Epstein, Mossad. I wonder if there's like concrete evidence. So this is Joe Rogan just saying it. Times of Israel. Worth digging into. Reporter. So Maxwell is confirmed tied to it. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to say sociologist David Miller has claimed that. Like, we could explain how basically, since Israel's a colony of the Western powers, that by default any of its intelligence agencies are going to be like beholden to that. Are they part of Five Eyes? Five Eyes members? I don't think so. I think they'd be a sixth eye. It's kind of hard to see on the map. Yeah, they would be the sixth. Because I know that, like, so we're just going to go ahead and jump straight in and say, due to Israel's status as a Western colony and forward operating base, Mossad has very close ties with the intelligence agencies of its what's it called when you're like above someone with its of its like I don't know, with the intelligence agencies of the US and UK, such as the CIA and MI. What is it, 6 or 5? Which one's the CIA equivalent? MI6. MI6 is their foreign intelligence. So yes, such as MI6. Beautiful. Mossad, CIA connection. Yo, Mint Press, yes. Love Mint Press, they're the best. How the CIA, Mossad, and the US. Yo, this is sus. Okay, let's just plop this in here. Mint Press. Oh my god, why the capital titles? Come on, it makes it look like shit. By who wrote this? Beautiful. Whitney, yes. She's the OG. Whitney Webb. We need to create a page for her of Mint Press News. Damn it. Yeah, Whitney Webb. Subscribe to her shit. She's amazing. I'm actually gonna go ahead and create a page for her so we can gas her up. Mossad. So intelligence agencies. What was our other international intelligence agencies? Alrighty, so now we'll go down to Whitney Webb and we will say Whitney Webb is a journalist who works for Mint Press News. She is awesome. So let's go to her page. This is not a bio, right? Yeah. The bio's up here. I gotta turn off dark mode. Alright. Writer, researcher, journalist. Since 2016, written several. Senior investigative reporter. That's not super beautifully written, so we're just gonna go ahead, add her socials. Like I said, go follow this woman, she's amazing. Twitter, yes, she has a link tree too. That is good. That's the censorship avoidant method. She's got is this a page or an account? Yeah, that's a page. So Facebook page. Let's see. Let's add her link tree. Holy shit, you got a lot of links. Dang. Yeah, and is she one of the people, like one of the main people behind Unlimited Hangout? Okay, we can mention that. So journalist who works for and is I think she's a host on Unlimited Hangout. On the Unlimited Hangout podcast. Does she also has her own podcast? I might need to turn off dark mode for just navigating all of this shit. Platforms. Okay, so podcast just links back to Unlimited Hangout. Oh, damn it. The shit's frozen again. But I don't even think anybody's watching. But I'm just gonna keep streaming. Is anybody watching? Sorry, I was not keeping an eye on the stream. Yeah, this is Sleepy Stream. I've got Sleepy Stream brain right now. Let me open up the stream in another window so I can keep an eye on it. So yeah, Whitney. Did we create that page? So we'll call her, we'll say American journalists. Cool. So we will, hell yeah, listening while writing. So yeah, we're creating a Whitney page. We got an Ewan Cameron page. Let's see. I thought I was gonna steal a bunch of the like the Deng Xiaoping stuff tonight, but I think I should probably call it a night and go to sleep. So wishing everybody a wonderful Monday afternoon, night.